Well, hello there. Depending on how much battery power my camera has, this will either be a very long video or a very short one. Since it's a huge update, I'm not going to go too far in depth about each particular item, but I will say a little bit of something. I don't want to just leave you hanging or anything, you know. But needless to say, I went nuts. All right. Best Buy has their upgrade and save event going on, and I just came into a little bit of money. So of that money, I decided I'm going to take some of it, just a little bit, just a teeny bit of a little bit of money, and go crazy with as many Blu-rays as I possibly can. Right. So with their upgrade and save event, the one they did last year, they had a $5 off of certain titles, basically. If you bring in any DVD, you can trade it in for a $5 coupon towards certain titles. But this year, during this sale, it's $5 off any title in the store. So, literally, you just bring in a DVD and you get $5 off any title in the store. So, I went in there and I just, I had an idea of what I wanted at first, but I went in there for the most part upon Sean's recommendation, Sean Isaac, and just searched around. And I kind of had to, because some of the stuff I was hoping to find wasn't there. It was gone. Other people had already gotten it because, well, they were pretty good deals. But I did get some pretty awesome deals regardless, and I got some stuff in my collection that I've been wanting for a long time. So, there are a few other titles that I really want in my collection, but, I'll wait because I don't really want to spend too much money on Blu-rays all the time, which is why I went with this and got so many Blu-rays all at once, because it was just so cheap. It's rarely ever this cheap to get a brand new Blu-ray like this. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. I want to say first of all, though, that I didn't pay more than $5 for most of these. There's one title that I paid more than $5 for, but it's actually like a multi-movie pack, so that's why I paid more than $5 for it. But anyways, first movie I got was Kill Bill Volume 1 on Blu-ray, and the second one to go along with it was Kill Bill Volume 2. The thing I was happy about with these two awesome movies, I've been wanting to get them on Blu-ray for so freaking long. And I guess, I would like to have the steelbooks, but it's not a huge issue for me. I like steelbooks, but it's not going to be the end of the world, Sadly, these are the only two titles that I got on Blu-ray that came in eco cases, or rather, the traditional eco case. Here, I'll show you what I mean here. The traditional eco case with the cutout, which we've all ranted and raved about because well, not raved, but we've ranted about because we hate it, because they're stupid, because they ruin the disc art, or the cover art, from time to time. But thankfully, these were the only two titles that I got that had that issue. I was surprised to see some of the other ones I got that they didn't have that issue, that they had proper cases. So, yeah, I was really glad about that. Obviously, really glad to actually go into a store and get something and hold it in my hands. Don't have to deal with online or anything like that. So, yeah, $5 each, thanks to the DVD trade-in. So I'm happy with that, because previously the lowest I'd seen them was $7 to $8, and that's a good deal. But I was just broke at the time, and now that I have a little bit of money, I'm like, well, I might as well get them if they're $5, right? I really want them in my collection. In fact, I might even watch one of them, or maybe both tonight. Who knows? But anyways, the next one I've been waiting so long for, you guys. So long, you guys. Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. I finally have Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. Travis, look, man, I finally have it. I finally have it. I finally have Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. I should probably stop freaking out, but I'm happy. Um, I've been wanting this one for quite a while since it came out, and there have been some decent prices, but I've just been broke every time there's been a decent price. You know how it goes. And honestly, that's kind of the case for all of the things that I got today. Yeah, well, except maybe one, all of them were titles that I couldn't afford previously, even when they were a good price. So, Ghostbusters, $5. Yeah, uh, that's another case where it's the best price I've seen for it. Very glad to have this again. I used to have the DVD set with both the first and the second one, and then I sold it and regretted ever since because I thought they were going to put the second movie out on Blu-ray right afterwards, but apparently not. They still have yet to put Ghostbusters 2 on Blu-ray, and I don't care what anybody says. It's a memorable and pretty good movie. So, come on. Bring it to Blu-ray already, for crying out loud. Anyways, the next one is Moon, Sam Rockwell, Duncan Jones. Probably my favorite new young director in Hollywood right now because he does, with less money, he does sort of, well, he's trying to work within the Hollywood system to make something that's not so Hollywood. I don't know. I would kind of compare him to, I don't know. I'm not even going to bother comparing. Duncan Jones is just freaking awesome. Moon was an amazing movie. I actually got to see this in theaters when it was first released. Like a few weeks after it came out, they actually decided to bring it to the Indie Theater here in Portland, and I totally jumped on that and watched it in theaters. And I was trying to tell everybody, I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, but this is a fantastic movie. And if you love science fiction, you need to see this movie. And so I think Sean keeps telling me, he's like, you're the one that got me to see that movie. And I'm like, well, thank you. And I'm glad I got you to see it because it's a really good movie. So yeah, Moon, $5 on Blu-ray. And another thing, this is the same thing with the Ghostbusters case. It's got a proper Blu-ray case and artwork on the inside. So I was very happy about that. Tambien. Tambien, if you don't know, in Spanish is also as well. Okay, so next, this one, the case is a little damaged, but I was okay with it because it was $5, and with everything that it came with, I was just like, yeah, I want this. Apollo 13. Yeah. Apollo 13. This is, well, maybe it's not the best movie ever, but whenever I think of astronauts in space, this is a movie I think of. Probably more because I'm used to the movies of the 90s more than I am other decades. So, of course, this would be the premier movie of the 90s that dealt with, the space program, as it were. I love that at the bottom they just have Houston, we have a problem, which I don't know if I would say that's the greatest line in the movie, and don't even know if I mean, did they even ever say that? I don't think they ever said that historically. It's just something that Tom Hanks said in the movie. But, yeah, this comes with the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital copy, and it comes in a proper case. And it's got lots of special features. So I said, for $5, I don't care if there's a little, I don't know if you can tell that little scratch there. It doesn't go through anything. It's just a tiny little dent, basically. So I was like, I don't really care about that for all that I'm getting here for $5. It's a good deal, and I'm not going to pass it up. Yeah, I don't regret it. And I've heard that the quality of this one isn't fantastic, the picture quality, but I find that kind of hard to believe, number one. Number two, I kind of find it maybe they're being nitpicky about it because honestly, when you've got something with special effects like this movie and it's taking place in space and just the awesome scenery that comes along with that, I want to see that in high definition. I don't care if it doesn't look as good. I want to see that in high definition. Number one, number two. Even if the Blu-ray isn't that good, it comes with a DVD. So you know, hardly a tough choice to make for $5. The next one I would argue is probably the best deal I got. I was surprised that I even found it. It was one of those ones that, everybody's been talking about and all the Blu-ray film aficionados have been going after since this sale started, and I didn't get around to the sale until now. So, of course, I figured that it wouldn't be there, number one. Number two, I've never actually seen the movie before. I just know that it's brilliant because of what I've been told about it. And I know that I have to see it. And it's just one of those that as a film fan, I knew I had to get. Scorsese picture, Robert De Niro. No, it's not Taxi Driver. I already have that one. But what I don't have is, or rather, now I do have Raging Bull. Yeah, this one was originally $24.99, marked down to $9.99, and with the $5 off, came to $5. $5 for Raging Bull. Now, the other one I wanted to get that was pretty much about as good a deal as this was Braveheart for $5. So if you guys if you don't have Braveheart yet on Blu-ray and you want to take advantage of this sale, I mean, you might be able to find one kicking around your Best Buy. I don't know. But maybe check online first or call ahead of time. But yeah, I was surprised. This is the last copy they had. Raging Bull. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but I know how historically important it is, and I've always intended to watch it. So, of course, this is hardly. I mean, it's a blind buy for me, but it's hardly one of those "oh, I'm not sure" type of things. It's like, of course I'm sure. Of course I'm sure. Raging Bull, $5. Fuck yeah. Last but not least, we come to the title that I spent more than $5 on. It's the only one I spent more than $5 on. That's because it came with 2 movies and an animated feature. Some of you might already be picking up on what it is, but the Chronicles of Riddick trilogy, which features the original movie Pitch Black, which I honestly still to this day believe is a better film for many reasons. They were definitely trying to do something interesting with the first one. And then the second one, it was like they were making a Hollywood movie based on the first one. You know what I mean? And there's nothing technically wrong with that, I would say, but it's just not as good as the first one. And even if I think I've heard that the transfers on these aren't fantastic, but even if they aren't, it's another one that was set in space, and it's pitch black. It's really dark in one of these movies. So you want high def because you want to get those deep blacks. Even if they aren't great deep blacks, you'll want the high def because they're going to be better than what DVD can give you no matter what. So for really dark movies, you really want Blu-ray. So I really have been looking to get this, but like the cheapest I'd seen it beforehand was like in the past few years, they've had the double pack that had just the 2 movies for $15 each at the lowest I'd seen it. And then they brought this out, which is basically the DVD version of the Riddick trilogy. Is a lot like this, except for it's the DVDs. So, but yeah, they brought this version of the double pack out, and I recently saw it, I think, for $15.99 on Amazon. But I said, you know what? I can't find any of the other stuff I want in the store. There were a couple of other titles I wanted, of course, that I couldn't find, and I asked about it, and they didn't have. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go with this one then, because this is something I want. And it was $19.99 in store, so the $5 off brought it down to $15. $15 for two movies and an animated feature. Two movies that are arguably very, very good. And I don't, even though I had the DVD before, the DVD collection of this, I don't believe I ever watched the animated feature called Dark Fury. So it's nice to have that again, even though it is again on just on a DVD. For whatever reason, they didn't want to port that to Blu-ray. I don't get it because it would have been beautiful, I'm sure. Probably just to save money, but yeah, Riddick trilogy for $15. I think that's a little bit lower than it was on Amazon. Number one, number two, I had it in my hands. I have it in my hands. I didn't have to wait for it to come through the mail and hope that the guy didn't throw it at my door and dent something or screw something up. I've got it in my hands, and it is a pretty hefty case. You'd think that they might just put the Dark Fury on one of the Blu-rays in like standard def if they're going to do it like that, but no. At least if they're going to be cheap, they give you the pitch black Blu-ray, the Riddick Blu-ray, and then the extra DVD of Dark Fury. Sorry, I suck at showing you. But yeah, so $15 for that, and then $5 for all the rest of the Blu-rays I got. A lot of them, Kill Bill, Moon, Ghostbusters, and this were titles that I really wanted to get in my collection, really wanted to see on Blu-ray, especially stuff like Riddick and Apollo 13 and Moon, because of the fantastic scenery and cinematography in those films. And I can't wait to check out Raging Bull, having never seen it before until, well, now, right? So, yeah. And Raging Bull comes with the DVD too, so I might actually, I still have like 5 other DVDs that I came up with that I could trade in, basically. So I still have 5 to work with. So, 5. Sorry, couldn't see my thumb. So, so with 5 titles, with 5 DVDs, I could just take those in to another Best Buy and see if they have some of the other titles I was looking for. I really wanted to get The Machinist, which would have been $8 with the $5 off. I wanted to get Uncle Buck, even though it's not a great transfer. It comes with the DVD, and it would have been $5. So, yeah, I just really wanted that because I love that movie, and I wanted to see it. I genuinely wanted to see it, like right now. So I was disappointed, really disappointed when they didn't have it. What are the other ones? The Good, the Bad, the Weird would have been $5. There were a few others, but I can't remember them right now. Road to Perdition, I believe that one would have been either $5 or $8, one of those two. So yeah, and Braveheart, of course. So I've got 5 other DVDs I can trade in, maybe if they still have the Upgrade and Save event going on next week, which I believe they should. I don't know why they would just only make it for like a week or two. But yeah, if they do, then when I have that money, when I have the money and when I have the time next week, I might go check out the other Best Buy, see if they have that or not. I don't want to spend too much money since I've already spent $45 here just on these. But there are some other titles that I would like to have, I told myself that of the money I'm earning, of the money that I've earned recently, I'm only going to spend like $80 of it, so I'm really trying to spend it wisely. Anyways, that'll do it. Thanks for watching this DVD update, or rather Blu-ray update. And if you didn't know about the sale going on at Best Buy, definitely check that out. All you got to do is bring the DVDs in. Any DVD that's like, It can be a used DVD from like Blockbuster. It can be any kind of DVD basically, as long as it was professionally pressed. It's good to go. You can only do 5 at a time, but when I brought my DVDs in there, the guy was willing to just do 5 per transaction, and then start a new transaction for anything over the 5. A new transaction for every 5, basically. So don't think that you can't bring in a whole bunch of DVDs, because if you want to, you can do that and then get $5 off as many Blu-rays as you want. I highly doubt Best Buy is going to be upset about you buying lots of Blu-rays from them. You know? So, oh, and one thing that I was going to try, but probably would not work for various reasons, but they have a lot of $7.99 titles I wanted as well, and I was thinking, maybe I can convince them to take in the DVD and make it like $3 off. I highly doubt that they would let you do that, but just to bring it down to the $5 mark, I would like to pay that much for some of these $7.99 titles, but even if they're just $7.99, there are also a lot of good $7.99 titles that I want, like Clerks and Contact, stuff like that. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm sorry this ran on long, but I had a lot of movies, didn't I? Anyways, catch you later. Peace.